Hello, and welcome to Abby Tyler's Healthy Living. My name is Abby Tyler. I'm your host, a family nurse practitioner, a health and wellness blogger, and a community volunteer. In here, we discuss evidence based health information regarding mind, body, and soul with a holistic emphasis. Thanks for joining me on this journey of health and wellness. Please enjoy the show. Hello, ADHLers. Welcome. How you guys doing? Welcome to our Tuesday show. My name is Abby Tyler, your healthy living NP. How you guys doing out there? Hope all is well. Let me just go in here for a second. Alrighty. As you can see, are you an introvert, ambivert, or extrovert? Okay. This is not gonna be one of my formal shows where everything is like all scheduled and fixed up nicely. It's just being me being vulnerable, and also knowing that other people also relate to what I go through as introvert and ambivert. Okay, so let me just go in here for a second. I'm gonna put my glasses on and I'm gonna get to my notes. And I saw this really nice article. There's somebody who also goes through this too. But let me just come here. So also, my disclaimer as always: I am a provider, but I'm not your provider. So please do not make any changes to your regimen without checking with your own provider. And again, in the case that I am your provider, do not make any changes without speaking to me first. Okay. So please share the show. Give me a thumbs up. Share the show so other people can watch along. Okay. So let's start. You can see there. Are you an introvert, extrovert? I don't want to make this too clinical and all that too. Okay. So let me just go in here. So anyways, like I said, if you saw the preview to this show, the reel that I put out, this time of the year, and usually all through the year, but this time of the year is when you go into parties, graduation cookouts, wedding cookouts, so many different functions that are going on because the weather is nice, at least in this part of the world. The weather is nice, and you be invited to so many different things. And I do have a lot of fun at all these things because I love celebrating other people. I love celebrating other people's accomplishments and all that. Okay. So, but sometimes it's like a little, it's, I don't like go to places all the time either because especially for places for people that I don't know that well, and for people who maybe I may know just the celebrant, or I may know maybe the photographer only, or maybe know only one person, the person who invited me, and I'm there and I know I'm going to be sitting there with some people who I don't know. And I don't mean to seem like I'm being rude or like standoffish. Some people who know me, like they'll be like, oh yeah, she's a lot of fun. She comes somewhere, she dances, she has a good time, she's talking to everybody. And then there are other people who don't know me well, and they be like, well, she came and she was just sitting there and she wasn't really interacting with so many people. And I just really, she was giving up the vibe that she didn't really want to be there, or she's kind of standoffish or stuck up or whatever adjective they used to describe me. But so it's like you can be both, you can be all of that. You introvert. So okay, so introvert somebody, let me just, like I said, I don't want to make this too scientific, so I'm just going to give like a different short explanation here. Okay, so an extrovert, somebody who's like outgoing. Some of these people who go out and have fun and like the life of the party and can blend in very easily and feel in with other people. Okay, so extrovert, they're very outgoing. They prefer to work on teams. If they're somewhere working along with other people and just happy to be along. If they're going on a trip, they want to people. Oh yeah, I'll go on a trip. Oh, let's do this, let's do that. They love being around people, and they get the reward from mentally and the stimulation and all. All right, that's why during the pandemic, most of the people who are extroverts were like going out of their mind because they was like, oh my god, I want to go out, I want to hang out with people, I'm stuck inside. And introvert was like, oh, I've been waiting for this all my life. Okay, and extroverts also like to talk about things with others, like talk things out with others. Ambivert, which is one of where I am too, you in the middle there. Okay, so let me just go in here for a second. Okay, you can be outgoing, in the right context. So it's like, again, like I said, I love hanging out with people as long as I'm, feeling comfortable with the people that I love going to. So in which case I can be an introvert or extrovert, and to a certain extent. And now most of these definitions, by the way, they're not like just hardcore, hard stop definitions. Okay, there are spectrums. So you can be extrovert up to a point, you can be an introvert up to a point, and also ambivert up to a point. So it's not just all the time you love going out and you're just down for anything, but more likely that you like doing those things. Okay. So ambivert also can be on teams after working independently. So they can do either way. Alrighty. And they can process out loud or internally. So basically, like I said, they're in between depending on the situation. All right. Introvert, they're more reserved. Okay. They prefer to work independently and they like to process internally. Okay, so it's not like, again, like I said, it's not like a hard stop definition for all of it, and there's a spectrum to it. So, I think something happened to me recently. I went to a party, and it was like I didn't know too many. I knew the people there, but they're not people who I would normally just sit with if I was somewhere, or like, in that big setting. And that was fine. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go there and I'm gonna get out as early as possible, because I was like, and it's like, oh, can I find your seat? And I'm like, and I looked around and said, oh God, they're gonna give me a seat just with sitting on the table with somebody who I don't even know, or a bunch of people who I don't know, people who I just know, like they're all acquaintances. And I'll be sitting there because that happened to me before. I went to an event and they said, oh yeah, well, can you find your seat? And I sat there with a bunch of people who all of them knew each other. And I was the only one there who didn't know. And I was literally just looking at the clock, just praying that, okay, please let me look at the acceptable time that I can hurry up and get out of here. I don't want to make the celebrant, uncomfortable. I don't want to make them feel bad. But at the same time, I'm sitting here. And sometimes when you don't want to be somewhere, your heart's racing, you feel yourself sweating. I mean, sometimes it's almost like you're into palpitation and you start having anxiety issues and all that. Yeah, I used to be really bad to the point where that would happen before. But now it's like, as I've gotten older, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be here for a little bit and then I'm getting out. And luckily for me, also, is like sometimes I'll be on my phone and people see that as like, okay, you just on your phone, you're not talking to anybody. But sometimes the people at the table are not talking to you either. And I'm really bad at small talk if I don't feel comfortable somewhere. Okay. So, and one time I was in there and I'm just like, and luckily they called me and said, oh, the pharmacy's on the phone. They want you to clarify this medication order. The patient's there waiting. And that was like my saving grace. I grabbed the phone and I was like, okay. Then I came back. I was like, I gotta go. So it's like, first, for those of you out there, and you can leave your comments too as I'm going along. I will answer it. Okay, I'll address it. So, like, how do you deal with this? So now you may say, how do you know if you're an introvert, okay, or ambivert? Like I said, I can go to places and have a good time, dance like crazy, and other places I may sit there and just look like, I won't make it obvious, but I'll be like, okay, yeah, I really need to go because I don't feel comfortable there. Okay. And it has nothing to do with the people. It's just that when I don't know the people that well, all your mental health people can you kind of chime into. Okay. So how do you know you're an introvert? Alrighty. And sometimes, I was growing up, I was kind of shy. Even though I talk too much, that was always on my report card. Abigail talks too much. She talks too much. But I was also kind of shy too. So mm, you wouldn't believe it. Most people are like shy. Yeah, seriously. Okay, so let me go in here. So how do you know you're an introvert? Okay, signs that you may be an introvert. All right, you need quiet time to concentrate. Okay, you're very reflective. Okay, you think about things, and I'm one of those people. I like think about things over and over. Sometimes I even overthink something. I'm self-aware. Yes, yes. I'm always like, okay, I know about myself. I'm thinking about all this different stuff. I take time to make decisions. Sometimes too much time because it's like just make the decision and move on. And it's funny because if I'm with somebody who takes longer time to make that decision too, I'm like, oh, and it's like, do you not see yourself in this person? So, but also because the kind of field I'm into, I really need to like take time to make a decision. So I'm looking at so many different things. So that also goes into my social life too. I think I really take time to make decisions. Okay, I feel comfortable being alone. Sometimes it's like literally when you invite me somewhere, and if I make an excuse that I'm not coming, I'm usually like sitting on the couch, relaxing, maybe just reading on Facebook or watching TikTok or doing stuff. If I'm not doing anything, charting or looking at patient stuff and all, I just sit there and just watch Lifetime and just relax. My family may be home too. We're talking, but I don't want to be out. Okay, yeah, I find especially during winter months. You're not going to catch me out that much because the first thing I'm going to say is too cold. Alrighty. I don't like group work. I like group work is, let's say, if I'm going somewhere and we're supposed to be decorating somewhere and doing things like that where it's fun and music playing and I'm comfortable with those people. Yes, I like doing that. But like group work where one person's not pulling their weight, and then if I can do it with myself, I like to do it myself. But I'm like I said, I used to be more like that when I was much younger. Now it's like I feel it's like, okay, if we're gonna do it together, let's do it together. If I really feel comfortable around these people. And also the fact that, growing up, we didn't go anywhere. You weren't allowed to go anywhere. Then I came to America and it was like, you're not going anywhere. So I didn't really socialize with a lot of people until like way after high school. For most of you who are immigrant children who came into America when you were younger, you know very well you were told every day, if you want to go to the mall, no, you didn't come to America to be in the streets. If you wanted to go to a school event, no, you didn't come to America to be in the streets. Okay, nope, you get whatever it is that you're looking for out there, you can find it in your books. That was the refrain we heard every day. Okay, we went to church and we went to school. That was it. And I went to my high school prom, the senior prom, and I went to my senior homecoming dance. That was it. Everything else, you were home. Okay, so all of that socializing outside of home didn't become comfortable to me until like way after high school. Right. Because immigrant children, you come to America. No, so many people back home would like die for this opportunity, and you're here. Don't mess it up. So basically, all right. Daydreams. I have few friendships, but have few friendships, but I'm very close with those friends. All right, I do. I'm one of those people. I have like a lot of acquaintances. I have very few friends. Okay, and so if somebody comes up to you and say, "Yeah, me and Abby were like really good friends," and I know this about her, and it's probably just secondhand thing. Okay, because I'm very few friends, and the thing about it, most of my good friends don't know each other. So if you heard it from somebody else, it's like, yeah, chances are more than likely I know who told you that. So that's just the kind of person some introverts are. We just don't have too many friends, but the ones that we have, we treasure them. Okay, I have friends that I've known for a long time, and I've found it very difficult making new friends too, especially friends that I don't have that much in common with. Let's say maybe a profession, or maybe sometimes I bond over TV shows, I bond over old TV shows, or something that we saw, something that I can relate to. That if I'm done talking to you about it, I can have a regular conversation. So that's the kind of person I am, right? And that's for introverts and ambiverts out there. I know extroverts will say I'm paying more attention to introverts because of the show, I'm just doing introverts and ambiverts, okay? And sometimes you retreat into your own mind to rest. I love doing that. Like I said, I love walking into the park, sitting at the waterfront, enjoying myself there. It's like I don't always have to be around people that much to do that. All right. So it's like, so you out there and it's like, oh, okay. And some people might, again, like I said, when you're younger to you, be like, "Oh, people might think I'm this, people might think I'm stuck up." And people still think that too. Sometimes they'd be like, "Oh, I saw Abby out there. She wasn't even smiling." And I'm like, "Well, am I just going to be walking around smiling all day?" No, that's not the kind of person I am. I will smile if I have to and have a good time. And I'm very friendly and really approachable. That's one of the things too, when people might say, "Okay, she's not approachable because she's not smiling." I'm really approachable when people come to me. Once they get to know me, they know that I'm a very friendly person. But again, my body, like my makeup is like, okay, I'm like guarded, and I'm also very not a really outgoing person if I don't have to be. All right. But I'm really sweet though, once you get to know me. Sorry, I told this is like being very vulnerable right now. Okay. So anyways, and again, like I said, and choose to skip social events. So what are some of the things that ambivert like again, like I said, somebody who exhibits qualities of both introversion and extroversion and can flip into either mood depending on the mood and context and goals. Again, like I said, either one. So for those of you, this is not always just for introvert and extroverts, because some of you out there, you probably may be married to an introvert. You maybe have children that have introvert and ambivert and qualities and all that too. So this is also important, because sometimes some parents don't understand that, and they force their children to get into things that they really don't want to get, and their kids are really uncomfortable. And that can be a little detrimental to their health and their well-being too, because it's like, okay, I don't want to be in a dance club, I don't want to be there, I prefer to be maybe in this one, I prefer to be something like where I can do it by myself. And they don't understand that. Oh, why aren't you doing that, your friends? And some of the kids, like, you need to like break them out of just being there, and sometimes you need a little nudge. But some kids, like, definitely, like I said, you somewhere you don't want to be, you're sitting there and you're hyperventilating and your heart starts racing, like palpitations, and you're sweating and all. And some of those things sometimes it's not shown on the outside. So you're literally sitting there like dying inside, not so much dying inside, but you're feeling so uncomfortable inside. And nobody can see that because you're so used to holding it in. So if you have children like that, okay, don't force them into it, especially young children, all, because eventually, they're just going to go into themselves and then just completely turn against all of that when they able to do it on their own. So it's very important as parents that you have to look at your children, look at the qualities. Yes, sometimes you may have to nudge them a little bit, but look at what they're good at. Put them more into what they're good at, and activities that they're really good at. Maybe this one loves gymnastics, or loves being a soccer team, or love being this thing where they're around a lot of people, and the other one doesn't. It could be like twins, and one could be completely different from the other. Okay, or siblings and all other, or siblings that not twins and all. So be mindful of that as parents when you're doing that. Okay, and then also when you're dating these kind of people, don't go ahead and say, "Oh my God, I like to go out and you don't want to do anything with me and this and that and all that." No, you have to understand that once you meet this person, you're gonna have to compromise. And also ambiverts and introverts, you have to compromise too. Okay. Yes, I can go to this party with you. No, I don't want to go to somewhere where we're gonna be sitting there and have to talk to so many different people, because I don't feel comfortable with that. So this is not just being me being vulnerable, it's also because this is a health forum, and I also talk about holistic stuff and all. So it's very important. It's also a mental health and a medical issue too. too. Okay. So it's important that those of you who are watching, those of you who are dating people, those of you who have children, and also understand that. So what are some of the tips that if you're an introvert, okay, let me just go in here, that you don't have to feel guilty, especially as you started getting older. You don't have to worry about it anymore. Let's go. So I'm just gonna go over a few tips. So get over your guilt of leaving a party early. Sometimes they tell you, they say, "Oh, you're leaving early and you haven't been here that long and all that." Don't feel bad about it. You'd be like, "Yeah, I've been here long enough, and I may give some excuse that you have to leave." Or sometimes you don't even have to give an excuse. Just say, "No, I'm ready to leave, and I had a good time. I danced or I didn't dance. I met the person to celebrate. I did what I needed to do and all that too." But don't feel guilty because you have to leave, because that's just your makeup. After a while, you don't want to be somewhere too long and all that too. That person who invited you, hopefully they'll understand that no, you're not going to be there from the start of the party to the end of the party. Stop feeling guilty about that. Again, this is from the article I read. This person who also goes through the same thing. Okay, so just tell them, I'm going to come for a little while. Sometimes it's good to go later so that way you mingle a little bit and then you do all the necessary stuff and then you leave. And sometimes you may want to stay there for a longer time because somebody might come in that you feel comfortable with, and you're going to be talking to just that person as opposed to having to like sit there and talk to everybody else. Okay. So you have more meaningful conversations. In general, introverts, it's like small talk again. It's like when you have to sit at the table with other people you don't know and have to have small talk. It's like, God, like really. And then it's like, oh yeah, how's the weather? Oh, weather's fine. And then it's like, now what? Now, so sometimes it's like, okay, talk about something you run news. Pick something out of that everybody will like and talk about it. Something that's general information. Oh, did you hear about this girl who did this? Did you hear about this? No, and then have the conversation. But don't feel forced and don't feel guilty if you don't want to involve yourself in small talk. Okay, just make it known, say stuff, and just come to yourself. Get on your phone or do something else. But don't feel guilty that you don't want to make small talk. Okay, because again, like I said, my hands get all sweaty when I have to sit there and make small talk with somebody I don't even know and I don't feel comfortable with. And sometimes I make like the best of friends with one person that was just sitting there. So that's also possible too. Okay. Say no to social events that promise little meaningful interaction. Like sometimes somebody invite me to stuff and I feel really bad and say I can't come because I'm like, what am I going there for? Like, nobody else will know me there. You'll be busy doing your stuff and all. And what am I going to gain from that from going there anyways? Because I'll be sitting there and it's like I don't really need to be there. I don't have to be at every party. The same thing on Facebook too. Sometimes people will tag me and stuff, and I'd be like, no, you're not. No, I don't have to come to every post that you tag me on, especially when I know that post is not going to make me feel any better or add any value to my life. So sometimes it's not, no, that person's having a really good time and that's their party, and you don't want to make them feel bad. But if you don't want to go, don't feel guilty about not just saying, I won't be able to make it, or let me see. And you can always send your money and your present or whatever it is that you have to send, and you don't have to be there. Again, like I said, you go there for a little bit and then you leave. Okay. Going on, don't force yourself to live the extrovert life. Okay. Some people like, oh my God, I have to do this and I have to be with my friends, and they'll feel bad if I'm not doing this, and they'll feel don't if you that kind of person. Again, ambivert, that's where I fall in. Okay. I can be very extroverted at times and very introverted at times. So find that line that works for you, but don't force yourself to be something that you're not, especially as you start getting older and all, and you're not forcing yourself to make friends, or people are gonna what are they gonna like you or say this about you. Now of course, as we all get older, regardless of what age you are, you're gonna worry about what do people like you and things like that, but it doesn't affect you as much. And as you get older, it shouldn't affect you that much. Okay, if they're still affecting you that much, that's something you need to talk with somebody who can help you with that. So just don't force yourself to be something that you're not, basically, is what it's saying. Okay. So for those of you who are joining me right now, you're watching Abby Tyler's Healthy Live In page. I'm on Facebook and I'm on YouTube. This is our Tuesday show every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. And I do daily doses. I put short videos on during the week. Okay. So if you're joining me from Abby Tyler's Healthy Living page and Abby Tyler's Healthy Live in the group, also on YouTube and Focus on Liberia and other shows that we share too, please, by the way, please share the show. We're talking about you're an introvert, somebody who likes being by themselves, ambivert who can go either way, and extrovert, people who are just out there, very outgoing and easily fall places. Okay. So please give me a thumbs up. Please give me a thumbs up and share the show. I'm just gonna take a look here and go into and see what this comment is here. Let me see this person. Raquel Yedia said, it's nothing. You're ambivert. Yay, ambivert, you nice. Yes, it's like I think most of us are more. I think more people are more ambivert than they are, because it was like, oh yeah, am I truly an introvert? Yeah, and so let's unite. We're many of us out there. So if you see me partying at one place and at another place, I'm just sitting there like, oh, okay, don't feel bad. Okay, it's not. It has nothing to do with your party and nothing like that. It's just my chemical makeup. Okay. And a lot of people are like that. Alrighty. So number one of the tips, back away from one-sided relationships. Because introverts tend to listen well and give others the stage, we can be a target for toxic or emotionally needy people. That is true too, because I know there are times where it's like, okay, yeah, and we're always supportive and we listen to the person who like outgoing and all that, and that person can take advantage of you. Okay, so it's like, especially if that person is toxic too, and you're like, oh, I'm just okay, I'm just helping out, because most of the time we think things through. We're more sensitive to other things and all that. So it's like, stay away from people who can manipulate you. Stay away from people who would gaslight you. Okay, because they're very good at that. And I used to have friendships like that before when I was younger, where it's like, I do everything for somebody and I'm doing this. Oh, can you take me there? Can you take me there? And the minute I say, oh, you know what, I'm busy today, I can't do it. And then they tend to like, and then it's like, oh, they either stop speaking to me or they stop pulling away from me. And then next thing you know, we stop being friends. It's like all those many times that I helped you out and all, and I never expected anything in return. But now all of a sudden, when I can't do it, and then you treat me in that way. So again, I'm a little older now, so I get a little, hopefully a little wiser. So it's like, no, if the relationship is toxic or it's parasitic, where it's like you're only getting things from me, I'm not doing that. All right. So give yourself permission to not do it all. You don't have to do it all. There's sometimes, and especially now, different things where, in our Liberian setting, where if it's like a wedding or graduation, you're partying from Friday night. It's like the meet and greet. Thursday's like you coming into town, then the meet and greet Friday night. Then you go into different parties. Then you turn it around, and then you going over to Saturday is the event, and then you have to go to the after party. Then you have to turn around and go to a Sunday. You got to go to the church or whatever religious event. Then you have to go. You don't have to go to everything. You can say, "I'm gonna sit this one out." I mean, the main event on Saturday, yes, you can go to it, but you don't necessarily have to go to everything. And if you do have to go, you don't have to stay there long either. Okay, because it's like, yeah, no, you don't have to. So don't feel guilty if you don't want to go to everything, to every event. Okay, you can always stay. You can always say, "I'm just gonna let this one out." And if you feel bad, you just tell them, I just, no, I didn't want to be at everything. All right. So let me see here. So Priscilla, I get to say hi. Hi, Priscilla. How are you? Well, as well, I hope you know. If you have any comments, you can comment along there. Okay. Alrighty. And let me see. Stop beating yourself up for awkward things that you said 6 years ago. Introverts, again, we overthink things. Like I would sit there and think of stuff that happened like maybe 5, 6 years ago, and I'd be like, oh my God, I said something that's stupid, or would we responded, like one of the things where they say when somebody's like, oh, have fun at the wedding, and then you're like, you too, and you're like, that's so stupid. I mean, they're not going to the wedding too. Why did I say that? Or you say, or something you said that was awkward at some time and another when you're at an event or something, and you start thinking about it. I'm like, God, I bet you they thought I was an idiot, or my God, or this and that. And it's like, no, no, no. Maybe trust me, they're probably not even thinking about it. And if they're thinking about it, so what? So what? Don't beat yourself over things you said, because chances are more than likely they said something just as stupid or even more stupid, and it's not something that was like intentionally said, but sometimes we're humans, we say things. But introverts kind of, we internalize a lot of things too. We are very good at internalizing things. Somebody say something to us, or we take something else, other people's problem, and just kind of, you're like, our culture say you do everything, you put it on top of your head. So you don't have to worry about that. If Don't beat yourself over something you said, something that was silly a couple of years ago. Just write it off, okay? Because I know sometimes when I come home to it and I tell my husband, I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I said that. He was like, oh, well, just don't worry about it. His main thing now is like, just drop it like it's hot. That's his, that's his thing. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to worry about it anymore. So, no. But introverts, we do that. We tend to like, internalize things and beat ourselves over with something that we said that was silly. We should, extroverts would be like, I said it, I moved on. Alrighty. And sometimes it's like a number nine. It's like step out of your comfort zone. I've been trying to do that more often now, stepping out of my comfort zone and go into things and finding myself participating in activities that I wouldn't have done before. Not because I don't, but it's like, just do something different. I mean, like I said, at this point in my life now, I have more years behind me than I have. I mean, like third quarter of my life, put it that way. Say third quarter? Yeah, like third quarter of my life, because I'm at that age now where, AARP is like sending me stuff every month. Like I tell you, I want to join your association, but basically step out of your comfort zone, do things that are uncomfortable. I'm one of those people where like I would stand up and speak in front of people. I would sing in front of people. I would dance and stuff. But there's certain things where like you got to pull me, and I walk in a room and I don't know too many people there. I would literally just like freeze, and then I start looking around to see who I like. Oh, not who I like, but who I feel comfortable that I'm going to sit with them. But like again, like I say, if I sit on the table with a lot of people who know each other and I don't know them and they're not talking to me, and it's like. And I don't know, maybe people say, and also my husband's like, oh, people think like, like they feel uncomfortable when they say something to you, might say something that they don't understand or something like that. And I'm like, no, I'm a really deep thinker too. That's one of my things. One of the things introverts, I'm really deep thinker. And then I'm thinking on so many things. And I've been like that from the time I was little. So it's like when people were worrying about regular things, I was worrying about something really deep. So that's just how it is. Alrighty. And remember that your introvert needs are valid. Don't sit there. Then society tells you, oh yeah, introverts, being an introvert is not the right way out. As a result, we become accustomed to hiding our feelings. Don't let that happen. Okay, don't let that happen. It's like yes, just how extroverts get rewarded, and it's like, oh, he's a life of the party. I like to bring this person, and they're gonna make everybody happy because people will invite other people who make them feel okay at the party, and this person I may not invite her because I mean, invite her, she's there, she's not there, it won't make a difference and all that to me. So I don't have to bring her in. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't. So know that your needs, your whatever your makeup and everything is all valid. Okay, whether you're introvert or ambivert or extrovert. But again, like I said, for those of us who are introverts and ambiverts and introverts, don't feel bad. Okay, that's just you. It's always nice to step out of your comfort zone, do things that's outside or make you comfortable. Try to be a little bit on the other side, but don't beat yourself over it. Okay. So let me see where Priscilla's at. Yes, beating myself up for a time I did it sad was my strong suit on like until like very recently I started this program on being kind to myself and embracing my flossomeness. I love that word. Flossomeness. That's good. Oh, I think I'm gonna use that more often. Oh, yes, my flossomeness. Yes, I love that. I love that. Thank you. Yes, I used to be like that too, like I said. So again, to those of you who are out there and you're parents of children who are introverts, children who are parents of children who are ambiverts and extroverts, yes, encourage them, celebrate their differences and all that too. Don't force one child into being something that he or she is not. And but at the same time you can encourage them to do different things, because when you open yourself out and you step outside your comfort zone and all that, you never know how great it could be on the other side. All right, so it's important to do that, but at the same time don't force it. Don't make somebody feel uncomfortable. Don't make, because eventually sometimes, especially with little kids, they just kind of draw into themselves if you keep forcing them to be something else that they're not. Alrighty. So that will be, little Susie may not be the head of the play, that's gonna be going across town and all that, but maybe Miss Susie may be the one who could be like the ones working behind the scene and doing the writing part, doing all of that. So not everybody is meant to be on stage. Okay, and there's nothing wrong with that. Is in again the kind of job that we do, we all can be this and all that. Doesn't mean that what we're doing is less important than what the other person is doing, but just because we're not on the forefront. And also, like again, on Facebook, you don't necessarily have to show everything all your life so people can prove that you're having a good time. And that's another topic. But also, if you're in a relationship where you were somebody who's an ambivert or introvert and you're extrovert, be understanding, be compassionate, be kind. Okay. And also introverts out there, ambiverts, let's unite. Okay. Good for extroverted friends and all, but it's important. So this is mostly it's like mental health, and it's also in medical health and all that too, because that can also cause a problem if you're in a relationship where you don't feel like you guys are compatible because this person doesn't like going out every Saturday or this person doesn't like doing certain things. Like you're never gonna see me bungee jumping, not because it's dangerous for one thing, but no, I'd be like, no, let them do that one. I'm gonna stay here and do this and all that. And sometimes I just, just want to stay home. All right. So, like I said, this wasn't like a major thing, and I don't have every show doesn't have to talk about something, some disease stuff, but it's just this is all like social life and all that too. So, thank you all for watching. Let me see, Priscilla, like learning self love. That is so important. And I try to get, and I tell myself, if I was the person that I was when I was in my 20s and all, I would have like, left out a lot of mistakes and all. But then again, you learn that as you grow. That's one of the things where if you knew everything when you're in your teens and 20s, then what's the point of life? Because then you'd be so afraid to do so many different things because you're so. But as the time go on, learning to love yourself, learning to love who you are. Okay, introvert, extrovert, ambivert, learning to love who you are. And all those who are having parties this summer so far, I've enjoyed the parties that I've gone to. And if you see me somewhere at your party and all that, just sitting there, please understand that it's not that I don't want to be there, but sometimes it's like if I don't feel comfortable at certain places and all, I'm not going to make it obvious. But it's just that, I'll talk. And then if you see me at the party, you want to say hi to me, or yeah, if I see you, if I know you, I'll say hi to you and all that too. I'm not stuck up. And people who are ambiverts or introverts, we're not stuck up. Sometimes it just takes a little while for us to get acclimated to something. Okay. So I thank you all for joining me. For those of you who join me doing this broadcast, I say thank you. And for those of you who will be watching, I say thank you. Thank you also. Let me see if there's anything there. Priscilla said, yes, that's it. Learning as we grow. Yes. Yes, learning as we grow. Okay, feeling comfortable and learning as we grow. So don't forget to share the show. Share it to your friends, share it to your other groups and all that too, because I'm sure there are other ambiverts and introverts out there. So let's unite. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up. Share the show. I'm also trying to raise money to put more, bring more content to you guys in order to pay for this software. But if you can donate on all sides, the most important thing you can do is just share the show. Okay, you can share it to your people because I'm sure it will benefit somebody out there. Okay, so once again, thank you all for watching. I'm on every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, and I put daily doses and I'll be doing different stuff. Okay, so you all have a very good night and stay safe and stay healthy. Good night and good night.